Where are we at here?
Just a little bit up.
I'm Lieutenant Jason Fair. I'm the Public Information Officer for Albuquerque Fire. So thank you all for coming. This is a big turnout, so great job. It's good to see the community out here. This is a ceremony we're going to conduct for opening up this station and also pushing in this new fire truck. So there's a couple moving parts here, so just kind of want to let everyone know what's going on. So we're going to hear from some of our distinguished guests here. We're going to hear some remarks. Following that, we're going to go out onto the pad, out kind of by the flag poles, and we're going to raise the flag, which is a tradition it's a daily occurrence here in the fire service. We fly flags at all the stations, and every firefighter knows that every day in the firehouse begins with a pot of coffee and putting up the flag. So we're going to do that to symbolize the station going into service. Following that, we're going to go out to the pad, and we're also going to push in this brand new truck. So not only is fire station brand new, Engine 23 is also a brand new apparatus that we're pushing in. So just kind of let everyone know, work with us here. We're going to start in here. We're going to move out, then we'll move back in here. So with that, I'm going to turn over to the MC for the day, Dan. Thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you, Jason. I'm looking forward to that. I've never seen a fire truck pushed in by actual humans. This will be great. And there's also going to be a water cannon salute later, too, so that should be a lot of fun. This is a great day. I'm with DMD. I'm the public information for DMD. I'm like the only department that is not in this building, is how I feel, considering it's for ACS, AFR, and APD. But DMD builds the city, and this was our chance to build something pretty amazing. So to kick it off, I want to bring up Mayor Keller. And we're going to start with a few words about how important this is to our West Side community.
All right, well, what a tremendous occasion this is. And I say that because it is literally true. Our city has not added a fire station in 2 decades. Can you believe that? It was the one out by Cibola High School, which that was probably 2 decades late, by now that I think about it, but 2 decades since we have expanded our fire reach. The nearest fire station is within 5 miles. So you can see why this is so important. And I'm starting with fire, but I want to walk us back a little bit to just where we're at as a city. And I want to first acknowledge that where we're at is we do respond to things differently now. We respond as a city, whether it's fire, whether it's police, or it's ACS. And so not only is this the first new fire station in 20 years, this is the first brand new ACS community safety response station in the history of the city and the department because they have their new headquarters. They do have a renovated fire station, but this is also a new public facility for them. So this is the first combined facility that also includes APD. So this is also in the furthest reaches of the southwest of our city, now finally a police station as well. So we have police, fire, and community safety, representing the 3 branches that respond when you call 911, all under one roof, all able to work together, and all able to take care of the community. So this is, in many ways, the physical representation of how far our city has come. We know we have lots of challenges, whether it's crime, homelessness, all of the things we know about every day. But we also see here today something undeniable, which is that we are doing more and we're doing better. More meaning we're actually adding facilities and public safety out into our city. And 2, we're doing it together with 3 departments, not just 2. And so this is the future of Albuquerque. But the first place it's happening is right here in the Southwest, Mesa. And I want to reflect on that for a moment because everyone here is now here, and I'm guessing some of you have been here, but some of you have not. I want to welcome you all to Amole Mesa in Southwest Albuquerque. Yes, this is part of the city. And also, yes, this is the fastest growing part of Bernalillo County, and it has been for a decade. People say, like, where are all the new houses? Where are all the new schools? I'm like, have you been to the Southwest? Like, look around you. And so, wonderfully, our city does continue to grow. We just don't always see it in our neighborhood necessarily. Depends where we live. But the Southwest Mesa is the future of Albuquerque. It's also workforce housing. Most of the people all over the city who may serve you coffee or food at a restaurant, you know where they live? The Southwest Mesa. And so this is where young families are moving to. This is where families are starting. And this is also the home of the fastest growing high school in the city of Albuquerque and APS, which is a Trisco heritage, right outside, right on the other side of the road out there. And of course, this is where the county and the city in the South Valley mix. We have a wonderful kind of a checkerboard or a zigzag out here. And this is also a one Albuquerque effort with respect to how we help our friends at Bernalillo County, because they do a lot of the responding in the South Valley, of course. But this allows us to have our area covered in a much more real way that, frankly, to be honest, was usually often covered by the county. So we're able to reallocate and make sure that we have optimal resources. And so when you do that in a scientific way, what that also means is this facility literally is also reducing 911 response times all over the city, even in the Northeast Heights, in the opposite end, because we're relieving that stress and we redrew all the response boundaries to make that happen. That's also why fire friends will know you have a new battalion chief, is because of the growth out here and because of this station. And again, also ensuring that coverage throughout the city. So this is not just something we're doing for the Southwest. This is something we're doing for Albuquerque. And I would argue, because of the combination of 3 departments, this is also something that we're doing for New Mexico, because we're showing the way forward. We're showing innovative, alternative response and real response at the same time and in the same facility. So we're going to hear from a lot of folks who helped put this together. So I'm not going to name all of them because many of them are speaking. But in general, we could not have done this without our state legislators. Many of them are here. Give them a round of applause for all the money they put in and their support. And you know, every dollar I spend actually is given by the City Council. And so thank you, City Council, for approving all this work. And you know, all 9 of them. We'll hear from some of them, but I want to give them all a round of applause. And of course, they're your taxpayer dollars, of course. We never forget that. But including the taxpayers all around here who did not have these services, right? Who have been neglected for decades. Now we're turning the corner on that. And this is meant to be, it's kind of phase 1 and 2 of multi-phases. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like. Could be a multi-gen center, transit stop, could be library, but we're going to try and have this community also have the same kind of great amenities that you see at places like Manzano Mesa or North Domingo Baca or even Cibola Loop. And so stay tuned for more on this over the next few years. So I want to introduce our next speaker, but before I do that, I also just want to acknowledge there are a ton of city workers here, or families of city workers, regardless of if it's police, fire, or public works, or our CAO, Samantha Singles, floating around. Just help me give them a round of applause for all the work they do each and every day. And a Packer fan. I just want to appreciate you rocking the cheese head. You know, I don't want us to forget it is Lobos versus Aggies, but, you know, I know you're ready. I think with that, what I want to do is I want to introduce the woman who has been a leader and a custodian, a shepherd, a guide, and a champion, most of all, for the Southwest. And there's no dispute who that is. And I remember I called Councilor Pena up, it was a while ago, and we were talking about capital outlay and bond issues and things like this. And, you know, I was like, you know what? I was like, the Southwest Mesa doesn't have a fire station or a police station, you know, or a multi-gen center. We should put something out there. And she was like, yeah, no kidding, Mayor. Like, I've been working on that for 10 years. You know, welcome to the party here. And that was, of course, early on in my term, and that's when her and I agreed we were going to get this done. And we were going to start with public safety and then do the rest from there. So please welcome up your city councilor, Councilor Pena.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm so excited. Many of you know me, we're watching our grandbaby, so I'm always in t-shirt and a jeans. So some of you might not recognize me because I decided to shower and dress up today. So because this is such a special occasion. Just like the mayor, I just really want to thank everyone here. We have ACS, we have people from the city council services, we have people from the administration, APD, fire, ACS. You guys are just tremendous in all your work and everything you do for our city and just helping to make this a reality. I just really, really appreciate all of you. So congratulations and thank you for being here. And we have folks from the school, from Rudolfo and I here too, and that's our cheesehead lady over here. So I was going to mention that, but I just want to say, you know, this before being in office, actually you should do some community work. And when you talk about response times and how long it's taken for us to get, you know, some services to this area, back in the day, we had a cleanup, and I remember a volunteer had cut his foot at Alamosa Neighborhood Association. He was bleeding pretty profusely, and we called, and they said, well, this is city, this is county. I'm just like, well, this dude is bleeding out. Somebody needs to come, right? So at that time, this was years ago, and at that time, then the discussion started with the community, and they said, hey, we need to figure out something to address response times here in the Southwest area. So we established like an MOU between the county and the city, and so Bernalillo County helped us to address the issue with some of the response times, and then of course we addressed some of the issues, as the mayor stated, in terms of checkerboard, right? After being in office and holding the seat, we conducted a study, to say, hey, what is this effective still? Is it still needed, or do we need to look at building the fire station and APD? So anyway, as a result of that, what came out of that is that not only did we need a fire station in the city of Albuquerque, Bernalillo County needed a fire station also, and they actually built the one just recently here on top of 9 Mile Hill, and that's how much we've grown. That's how much, when the mayor says how vastly and quickly the southwest area of the city has grown. So the county got a new fire station to address the need here, and then also with this. So I just kind of wanted to give that history because it's been a long time, but then I'm going to go into some really good news. When the mayor called about that, and we had been working on that as a community for so many years, I just want to say it really couldn't have happened without his support. And when he called, he was like, let's do it fast. And I really want to say that if you know how city government works, it takes a long time for some of these projects to come to fruition, right? The planning, the securing the resources to get them done, then the planning and building. Well, I just want you guys to know that that call was in 2021. So we actually built this in record timing, and we couldn't have done it without the mayor and the administration and city council working together to get it done. So like 3 years, we were able to build this wonderful facility in an area that needed it so much. And then I also want to give a lot of kudos to our state elected officials, right? Because we don't do this in isolation of each other. I didn't do it, the mayor didn't do it. We do it collectively, working together in partnership. This is how we get projects done in our community. And I really want to thank also our representatives, Senator, I really appreciate it, representatives. But boy, I am so excited that this is here. It's just such a glorious day. And I just really appreciate all of you being here to celebrate with us, because this is very important. So thank you so much.
Well timed, Clarissa. Perfect. So let's see. I want to bring up our next speaker. I do want to mention two people that I forgot. One group I always forget, and they're always supportive, and they've never given up. And I do want to thank the Community Policing Council for being here and representing. They're a function of a lot of things, but they're here today, so give them a round of applause. And also, there's another woman who helped out a lot with this. That would be the governor. She was jammed up on her schedule today, so couldn't be here. But she really swooped in when we needed like the last finishing millions of dollars. And you know, it's like the project's like, it's 90% funded. Just give us a few more million and we're done. And she actually did with this project. So let's give her a round of applause. Okay, now we want to hear from some of our other state leaders and legislators who've helped with this project. And I think actually what we're going to do is begin with the state senator in this area and Senate Majority Whip, great position, Senator Michael Padilla.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, Madam Councilor, I have to say, before we get any further into this, I think it's really important that for the moment, what's housed out of this facility are people who put their lives in danger every single day they show up to work. And sometimes when they didn't show up to work and they're just driving around the neighborhood. I want you all to know, I'm looking around the room and looking at you in your eyes and saying, it's not lost on me. I know how very difficult your jobs are. You have families just like I do, just like all of us that are sitting here. Can we please give all of our law enforcement, whether it's fire or police or ACS or who it may be, a hand? I am extremely grateful to all of you, and I wanted to make that acknowledgement. You've heard it from our mayor and our city councilor here, but it's just really important that you know we appreciate you so very much. And also, I see some of our neighborhood people here, and I see some of our presidents of our neighborhood associations, and one of the toughest jobs in leadership is the neighborhood association. I know that's how our city councilor started out, and she just wasn't happy, and she got more involved, and she says, I'm gonna do something about it, and she did. And I'm going to talk about her in just a second, but can we give a hand to our neighborhood association presidents and officers and boards and all of that? You all do so much for our neighborhoods. Thank you. And yeah, you know, the mayor had not taken this on and wanted to get it done quickly. It probably wouldn't happen as quickly as it did. I know how important public safety is to this mayor, and it's important to all of us, but he's done a wonderful job of bringing it front and center. I really do appreciate you, Mayor, and all the work that you've done for our area and for my district, and I stand behind you 100%. Thank you. And now I got to talk about my sister. By the way, Councilor Pena and I are not brother and sister, even though we fight like cats and dogs when we're trying to get things done once in a while. And people have asked us if we're brother and sister, but we're not. But we are in arms, locked in arms all the time. And I have to say that we have a true champion and leader who grew up in this area, who really wanted this stuff to get done. I'm not at all surprised when she comes to me. I serve on the Senate Finance Committee and says, we need this and we need that. We need it right now, Padilla, and we need to get this done right now. And she did. She sat me down. She talked to me about this project. I was like, yes, absolutely. Yes, ma'am. What else can I do for you today? And I have to tell you, without someone beating the drums down, kicking the doors in, and making sure that this stuff happens, it just doesn't get done. So our counselor is doing a phenomenal job, and I love her like a sister. Thank you, Councilor Pena. Yeah. And I also stand behind you 100%. So all that being said, I'll get the political stuff out of the way. This community is just as important as any other community in the state of New Mexico. We heard from the mayor that this is the fastest growing area in Albuquerque. I have to tell you, this is the fastest growing area in New Mexico. It truly is. And all the services that are needed for a growing community are now suddenly, slowly, and quickly in some cases, coming together. This site will become probably a town center for the Southwest Mesa. And so we appreciate all the work that all of our folks are doing, Patrick and Samantha and everybody at the city. But I have to tell you that it's the people here that are so special and that deserve any other service that any other part of this state and this community have. And I just want them to know, as long as I have an opportunity to work on this, I will. But thank you all for coming today. You give me a microphone, I could talk for hours if you let me. But I know that I have some colleagues that are going to come up, and I want to say to the rest of the legislators that are here today, there are representatives sitting behind me, I'm just so appreciative to them that they also adopted this as an important project. So thank you all to our legislators. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Senator Padilla. And now we're going to hear from some of those legislators. And let's start with Representative Patricia Roybal Caballero.
Thank you very, very much. I want to, this has been of primary concern to the constituents, residents of District 13. This is District 13, House District 13. And I will say that since the very beginning, for years and years and years, the constituents have been saying, we want our communities and our schools to be safe. We want a shorter response time. We want to be able to have the same protections as the rest of the city and the state. Why is it that we keep getting ignored? Why is it that it takes so long? Well, thanks to the mayor, thanks to everyone who has spoken, everyone knows that planning and designing and developing projects take a very long time. And as City Councilwoman Carissa Pena mentioned, this was a miracle, actually, in my book, Councilor Pena, that this moved so quickly. But it's because of the fact that we've made a commitment to public safety, to keeping our communities feeling safe and protected. There's nothing more important than having a facility in the midst of a residential area. It sends a very, very strong message, especially a facility as great as this one, and has the capacity to grow as a huge community center where our families can come and visit, can tour, can understand, can feel that they are being responded to at the time of their most urgent need. So I want to say thank you to all the partners that stepped forward, to all of my colleagues in the House and the Senate, and to the governor and to all who provided the necessary funding. I want to also be able to commend the number of community groups that assisted in making sure that we heard how important this was to everyone. Senator Padilla mentioned the neighborhood associations. Yes, the neighborhood associations are critical. So are all of our informal, what we call informal community activists, community advocates who come to and go to city council meetings, to county commissioner meetings, to come to the state house and legislature and let their voices be heard. It's very critically important that we acknowledge and that we give them a round of applause as well. But I also want to commend all of those that are in the field of public safety, keeping our communities and schools safe, because all of you put your lives on the line from dawn to dusk and 24/7, I would say, because your job never goes to sleep. Your position doesn't know sleep. You are trained to respond, and that training and that response, that time frame and your commitment sees no end of day. So I want to give you all a huge commendation. I come from a family, a military family, so I understand fully the importance of the life that you give to all of us. And so you are to be commended. So for all of those constituents, community groups, colleagues, and most importantly to you all who hold the line for us, it's so important for us to acknowledge. I have been a victim. I have had to call. I have had to rely on a short response time because our lives were on the line. And I appreciated the fact that the response time was what it was at the time that I had to call in. But now that you're in our area, I know that that response time will be even faster and that lives will be saved with this facility and with all the men and brave women that are holding the line for safety for us. So thank you to all the partners, thank you to all the community groups, thank you to all my colleagues, thank you to the constituents for understanding that this takes time, but for never giving up hope that this would happen. Thank you so very much. Thank you from the bottom of our heart.
All right, thank you so much, Representative. And we also have Representative Yarina Yarola. She's here. We just want to acknowledge her. She's handing the mic to the representative next to her. So let's bring up Representative Art De La Cruz.
Thank you, Mayor. Wow, 18 months ago, we were here at a groundbreaking, and today we're dedicating a building. Congratulations to the mayor, the councilor, to all of the good folks that worked on this building to make it a reality so quickly. And it matters because we're talking about a safety center, right? We're talking about a place where fire trucks and police cars are going to be, because everybody knows, and I don't want to sound trite, but it's a reality, minutes matter in an emergency. And those minutes are going to make a difference maybe tomorrow, that quickly. So I'm incredibly proud, but it would be remiss of me if I didn't take a minute like the senator to thank Councilor Pena. You know, I've known the councilor literally since she was in high school. And all of this time, and all the time in her life, including with her husband, Johnny Pena, they have had a passion for helping community. A passion. Now, there's a lot of folks, and many of you do great work on behalf of your communities, but not everybody brings that burning passion. So, Councilor Pena, I really appreciate your work here and all the time. It's a thankless job very often. You know, when you get to come out and dedicate a building like this, it's really meaningful, and I know it warms your heart as an elected official. I'm thankful that I, along with my colleagues at the state, were able to help a little bit. Now, individually, as legislators, we don't have the means to be able to give millions of dollars, but when you put us together, all of us putting a part of our capital into a project, it becomes a little meaningful. So, Mayor, Councilor, colleagues, everyone that's here today, congratulations. It is indeed a great day. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Representative. So I know we have a little bit of an extended program today, but part of that is because it took a lot of people to pull this off. And it's also a reflection of the fact, like, in city government world, this is a big deal. But this is halftime. So the good news for most of you is the second half is not elected officials. That was just a self-deprecating joke there, sorry. But because now we want to bring up the people who do this work every day, the actual work of responding to those calls, and the leadership team that supports them. And so let's transition over, starting, because they have the most square footage in this combined facility, with our fire chief, Emily Jaramillo.
Thank you, Mayor. So thank you everyone for being here today. It was really fun getting to see some familiar faces from the community and also meeting some new folks. I got to spend some time speaking with our teachers from Rodolfo Anaya. It is a sports day, theme day at their school, so I also thought it would have been a lot more fun if we had done a theme where we all got to dress up today here in our favorite sports gear. But talking to the teachers and the principal from the school, it's really exciting for us to really showcase that this is a community space. We're right next door, so we are going to be able to have a beautiful partnership with the school and school tours, and kids love fire trucks. So, it was just really great getting to see all of the familiar faces and meeting some new ones. So for us, this process has been going on for a while, and our previous fire chief, Gene Gallegos, really kind of spurred this process. Like Mayor said, this is the first new fire station that we've built since 2005. I was a cadet in 2005, so it's kind of exciting to see the last new station that we had when I was starting my career, and then now in this position, 20 years later, we have our next fire station that's opening up to account for all of the rapid growth that we're seeing on the west side. Most of my talking points are gratitude, and about 90%, and they're brief. I wrote them down so that I wouldn't be long. I want to echo our thanks to all of our elected officials behind me and those that are not here, all of our legislature, the entire city council, but specifically Councilor Pena. I know how much work she put into making this come to fruition, as well as Mayor Keller. Internally, I'd like to thank a lot of our AFR staff that you don't really ever see kind of at the forefront. We have all of our fiscal staff that really help with all of our purchasing and all of that exciting stuff. Our logistics staff, I see our captain of the division right over there. Our dispatchers and our tech staff that had to get everything ready so that we can take calls. I see our fleet, our director of our fleet over here, Randy. He helps us stay in good shape with all of our trucks. And then very specifically on the AFR side, I want to thank Deputy Chief Alejandro Marufo. He came into his position as the deputy chief when we were getting this off the ground and really did a great job planning all of this out with the team from the city. I also want to thank our design team at V. Hill & Associates. We are very thankful to work with you all on all of our projects. They're great. Our general contractor, Janes, who partnered with us to do all the site work all the way through today's ribbon cutting, so thank you all from Janes. I also want to thank all of their employees that literally built this station. The last time I was here was in July, and it was super hot, and they were out pouring all of the concrete, and it was, I think, 1 o'clock, in the afternoon. So we just really thank everybody from all of these companies that have helped us get here today. I'd also like to thank the Department of Municipal Development, the department that literally builds the city, and specifically our project manager, Juanito Serna. Where are you at, Juanito? Super cool fact about Juanito is he lives a few blocks from this station. And I think that's what's so cool about working for the city is that all of this work that we put in is work that is literally in the communities that we live in. So thank you, Juanito. And then also Jennifer Turner, the director of DMD, right over here. Thank you. Several panicked phone calls between us and Jennifer or someone from her staff, but we're here today, so very thankful for all of that. I also want to thank Bernalillo County Fire and Rescue. There's quite a few firefighters and the new fire chief, Zach Lardy, over here. For our partnership, Councilor Pena did mention the checkerboard in this area, and we are very thankful for our partners at county. Bernalillo County has helped us cover areas of the city down here that we could not meet response times in. We have a very robust automatic aid agreement with Bernalillo County, and really that's a commitment between the city fire department and the county fire department to ensure that no matter where you live in the city, the closest fire truck is going to respond to you, or the county. So, so thank you all for being here. The focus for AFR with all of the growth on the west side is to improve our service delivery. Last month we also added our battalion chief. It's the first battalion chief that we've added. They're in the west side, they're off of 57th and Central. The first battalion chief we've added in over 30 years. We only had one battalion chief west of the river. I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're opening the station with. Behind you is a brand new engine. It's an advanced life support engine. And so one of the exciting things about this being a new engine is right now, departments across the country are literally lobbying Congress because you can't get fire trucks. Because of our fleet program, we are very ahead of the game there. So we have a brand new engine today. The engine will have 4 firefighters, one of which will be a paramedic. The ALS engine will be able to cut response times in some parts of District 23 in half for critical emergencies like a fire or a cardiac arrest. The second phase of staffing will be to add more resources. Our next goal will be to put a rescue here. But for now, we have our ALS-capable engine. As we open the doors of Station 23 in the Southwest Public Safety Center, my deepest thanks go to the men and women who come to work every day and answer the calls. And a lot of them are here behind you. I see family members, so we appreciate all of you. And also we appreciate the community whose trust gives our service the purpose. Our fire station is only a building until it's filled with our firefighters who dedicate their lives to protect others. May this station always remind us that the strength of our service is not just the facilities that we build, but the hands, hearts, and people who carry the work forward. So thanks again for being here to celebrate with us today.
Thanks so much, Chief. And next we want to continue with our sort of roll call of departments who are going to work here. And so next up is our Albuquerque Community Safety Department Director, Jody Esquivel.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jody Esquivel, the Community Safety Department Director. I will not take a lot of your time. I will echo everybody's thanks. But 4 years ago, Mayor and City Council and everybody got together and said that we could do public public safety differently in the city of Albuquerque, and we are. The department's grown for 4 years. I feel like we've matured in our department, and now we're standing strong, not just within the building, but with the leaders of the other public safety departments, as well as all of our responders on the ground, saying like, we're doing public safety different here in Albuquerque. That's extremely powerful. This isn't just powerful for the city of Albuquerque, but as Mayor mentioned, the state, but not only that, but the country. People are calling us all the time, the community safety department, to ask how we're doing it. How did we do it? What's the success like? We want to do that. How can we do it? And this symbolizes so much more for us in the city and our department. And I'm so thankful and honored to be part of this evolution of public safety. I want to thank the mayor and everybody that has supported community safety, Councilor Pena. I will echo everybody's thanks, all of our representatives. And I really want to thank the police department and the fire department. I think that ACS has had to grow and stand our ground in public safety and show you guys, show the police department and the fire department that we're here to help. We're here to help you, we're here to help the community, and we're here to lift the community up together. This isn't just a building, this is the evolution of public safety. All of us together in one space for the community, for the city of Albuquerque. We're responding to 3,000 calls on average a month, and we are happy to do that. We're happy to be here. We're happy to have a community space. We're excited to open the doors. Like all of our other spaces, ACS is here for the community, so we have a community space that we would love for you to hold meetings at, for us to have classes, for us to just bring everybody together. We're excited to have the in-house referral system. We're right next door to our partners. We're excited, and we believe that working in hand with our partners in public safety to better serve the community with the right response at the right time. I'm so thankful. Just a small piece of background is that I came from public service. I grew up in the fire service. I've served our state police via contract for a long time, so I've been in public safety for the last 22 years, and this is monumentous. This is the biggest thing in public safety that I've ever seen or been a part of, and I'm so proud of everybody involved to be able to make this happen. And thank you to everybody being here. Thank you to our first responders. Thank you to Team ACS over there that have dedicated their heart and soul into serving the community in a different way. I think everybody there. Adam, I know that this has been a crazy project, and I'm thankful for everything that you've done to help this. Jennifer, my hat goes off to you. You're amazing. Thank you, everybody, and I'm excited to be able to connect with you all after. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. And we want to transition over to the police side of the building. And also want to thank Councilor Champagne for being here. He is former APD. This used to be his beat. He could have used a new station, I'm sure. But thanks for your support on this project. Of course, front and center on all the expansion on the Southwest and trying to understand how we fight crime out here is the folks you see over there who do this work each and every day, and our area commander, Barreras, but the person in charge of fighting crime every day who has never forgotten his commitment to the Southwest is our Chief of Police, Harold Medina.
30 years I've been waiting to get invited to the opening of a new fire station, because I just hit 30 years in June, and I was so excited last week, and Gilbert kept talking about they're going to push the fire truck in, and I was a little confused. I was like, why are they pushing a broken fire truck into a new building? Then he explained to me that it was a tradition. I was like, okay, I get it. But, ultimately, the one thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I recognize that this is almost a decade's worth of work for Councilor Pena. I've worked for Mayor Keller for 8 years. It's been a great 8 years. But actually, my relationship with Councilor Pena goes back almost 2 decades. Officer Harold Medina was an officer in the Southwest Area Command. Sergeant Harold Medina was a sergeant in the Southwest Area Command. Lieutenant Harold Medina was a lieutenant, you guessed it, Southwest Area Command. When I became a commander, after about 19 months, I got the opportunity to get transferred to an area command, and you guessed it again, I was the area commander for the Southwest Area Command. And Director Esquivel talked about it, that this is where public safety is going. And the thing that I'm proudest about is that this is a message to the people from the Southwest Area Command that you are getting the first joint substation that includes all aspects of public safety. In order for us to deliver the greatest services possible, I've said it many times, you must ensure that you dispatch the proper resource. For many years, APD was the wrong resource to dispatch, and ACS has covered that gap between fire having to go out, and we take a big, huge fire truck to deal with somebody who needs some kind of services because they're down and out, as opposed to a police officer also doing that. But this is the first facility in this city where all three are going to be working out of. And that is key to ensure that we continue to ensure that the right resources goes out. Because too many times for years, nobody had the thought process to realize that we're dispatching the wrong tools. Now we are able to dispatch the right tools to the residents of the Southwest first and foremost before anybody else in this city. And that is important for me. I know it's important for Councilor Pena, and it's important for the people of the Southwest. Many times people tell me you shouldn't have a favorite area command. Well, I will tell you, I couldn't be happier that an area command was built such as this in any other part of the city because of the 30 years that I've had invested in the Southwest Albuquerque and the people of Southwest Albuquerque. So thank you to all the politicians who helped us make this dream a reality, but above all, congratulations, Councilor Pena, on getting something that I know for 2 decades we've been trying to accomplish in Southwest Albuquerque. So Mayor, thank you for everything you've helped support with. Everybody else, thank you. And I'm excited for the future, what it brings for us in this part of the city. And just like Mayor, I want to thank my cops that are out here every single day fighting crime. And the last thing I ask you all, as citizens supporting those officers, stop letting everybody blame them for crime. They arrest more people than the criminal justice system can process. It is not their fault. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Chief. Now, we want to transition to the activity interactive part of our program. And so, Dan or AFR, tell us where to go.
Well, actually, we really want to clear this room out. We want to clear this area out here. That brand new fire truck is going to be put right here in this bay. And all of our firefighters and some people, like maybe the mayor, will help push the fire truck in. He's ready. So we're going to move all the cameras. We're going to move the podium. We're going to clear out the bays. And then I really would love everybody to stay clear of the water cannon. There is going to be a water cannon salute, so please be clear of that. And then also stick around for the flag raising ceremony.
gonna rain it.